Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the Knatters Knits podcast. My name's Natalie, I'm coming to you from the northwest of England and this is episode 23. Today is February the 21st. It's the 20th. I'm recording a day early. My notes say 21st because I was thinking of doing it tomorrow, but I'm trying to get in early and we'll see what happens. Thank you very much for those of you who've watched the podcast before and have come back. And hello and welcome to those of you who are checking me out for the first time. I really do appreciate it. Thank you very much indeed. If you want to find me anywhere else on the internet, as is a commonplace thing that everybody introduces themselves by saying, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, and now, for the first time ever, on WordPress. I've closed my knattersknits.co.uk website down, partly because it was costing me an arm and a leg and I wasn't actually using it for very much, and I've decided that instead of having two websites, what I'll do is I'll combine everything on the WordPress site. So you'll find all the show notes on www.knattersknits.wordpress.com, and hopefully things will start to improve from there. It's much better quality from what I can see so far anyway, so hopefully that you'll enjoy the notes there, and I will try a little bit harder to actually put the notes in. So how's your week been? What sort of things have you been up to? I know this is a knitting podcast, so I'm going to get onto that in just a second, but have you had as good a week as I have? I've had a fabulous week. I really have. I'll tell you about it at the end when I talk about chatter, but what I'm going to do today is talk about FOs, works in progress. FOs, for those of you who don't know, are finished objects. WIPs, or works in progress. I'm also going to talk a little bit about the lack of stash enhancement. And just generally about some podcasts that I've been watching. I'd be interested to hear what your thoughts on that. Right, before we start, yet again, I'm starting with an apology. I've realised that I put up the thread for the finished items for every month, and I haven't drawn the January one. Now, I can't remember what I said I was actually going to award as a prize. So what I'm going to give away, she says, is a ball of this Regia sock yarn. Very, very pretty. It's one of the Erica Knight designs, and it's called Jazz Colour. There's a 50-gram ball, and it's colour 6455. No imagination, guys, come on. But this is rather pretty. I don't think the light's doing it any favours, but that's not bad. It's purples and pinks and a little bit of brown, a little bit of red. Very pretty colours. So that's going to go to the January winner. And because I haven't drawn it yet, what I'll do is I'll put it up at the very, very end. In fact, let me write myself a note now so that I don't forget. Big capital letters D-R-A-W. Right. Did I say it was episode 22 or 23? It's 23 anyway. So I've let you down again. I haven't had any finished objects this week. Partly because I've been a busy bee. I, as you will probably remember, was deliberating a lot last week about whether to take the job that's been offered to me by the ambulance service, taking the 999 calls. And I hummed and I hawed and I drew out the lists, that you're told to do, of the pros and the cons. I also got a lot of pressure from people at work to stay, including the boss. Thanks, Vicky. And no pressure, surprisingly, from my husband, which is unlike him, because usually he's, don't do. But no, he didn't. He backed off and he stayed away. And it came down to the fact that I'm really happy where I am. Okay, I'm not getting a huge amount of money, and I do wish they changed that, but I haven't got all to say in that matter. The work isn't difficult. I enjoy it. I love the residents. They're absolutely cracking. And I do like not working weekends. So I withdrew my application. So I'm staying put. And as you can tell, I'm really happy about the decision. I'm surprised because I didn't think I would be, but now I've made the decision and I've rescinded it. It rescinded the application from the 999 service, and I've told my boss I'm staying. I do feel so much happier about the decision, so it is the right one, I'm sure it is. So I've been doing a lot of that, but I have been doing a little bit of knitting. I started a blanket for my grandbaby to be, and I apologise for the amount of baby knits I'm doing at the moment, but I'm inspired, and hey, you've got to go with it, don't you? So one of the things that I bought, you might remember me telling you, was this special Aran by Stylecraft. It's 100 grams. Another one, it's got a shade number 1302, but it's also got a name of denim, and it does remind me of denim a little bit. It's that sort of a bluey colour, although the light's a bit bright. That's probably not bad. It's slightly more light bluey, petrol-y bluey denim, but it is denim. So I started that last week. I'm doing it on my interchangeables. I can never remember which type, but I'm sure you all know. I've got a couple of stitch markers on just to remind me to put the garter border all the way around. So it looks like that. And it's quite big. Big enough anyway for a baby blanket. So that's as much as I've done this week. Now it's the Tuck Me In blanket by Reyna Thera Lorele, and it's a pattern in the One Skein Wonders book for babies. I think I've talked about that before because I did the little hat, if you remember, from the same book. I'm determined to get my money's worth out of some of these books, and so I've done that. I quite like it. It's not quite what they call potato chip knitting. It's not something I can just carry on doing. It's an 8-row repeat, which I'm pretty okay with, but I do get the odd little panic when I think, oh, there's a hole, and then I have to remember to be patient because it all closes up with the next row. Phew, panic. So that's that one. I also started last night because, you know, hey, I haven't got enough projects on the needles already, with a sock. Because I suddenly realised that I've only got, like, it's 2 pairs of hand knitted socks left, and they've both got holes in. My All Miser ones have got a hole in. I don't like it, because it's really nice and it's not a wearing hole. It looks like it's been cut in the washing machine or something, so I don't know what's happened there. But I'm blowed if I'm going to stop wearing them because I love them. So I took this ball, and it was a pair of socks when I took it, this ball of yarn, which I love the colours, and I can't remember what it is, so apologies whoever I bought it from, but I do love these colours. I think it might be an Australian one, but I can't remember. And as I said, I've only just cast on, so I'm doing it on 3-pointed needles, double pointed, 3 double points, and it's my usual 60 stitches in the round, and I think I'm doing a 2x2 ribbon this time, and I'm just going to do my standard, really. I'm only doing ankle socks because I only wear ankle socks. Do them for about this amount, and it's an ish till it feels about right. Then go for the gusset, but I might not do a gusset this time. I might revisit that strong heel. If you remember, I did it on the sample last time, so I might do it again on that. I'm not sure. I haven't quite made up my mind, but I've got a while till I get to that bit, so I'm going to do that. So this is the only yarn I've got, and that's it. So I shall be doing that probably if the VK ends on for FO and dye this evening. I shall do that one, and that's it. Little bitty amount of knitting. And the reason is I went out. Yep, I had a whole evening out on Tuesday night. My eldest daughter, who lives in Devon, and her son came all the way up to Bolton to visit some family, whose family member's not very well. So we arranged to go out for the evening because I don't get to see her very often. In fact, it's probably about a year since I last saw her. And we went. I picked them up from the hotel, and we drove around, got lost a bit, and then we found a Frankie and Benny's. Well, it's Frankie and Benny's, so what could go wrong? Well, it was okay. The company was excellent. It was lovely spending time with my grandson, and to realise that I'd actually got things in common with him was really strange. He's really into The Walking Dead, he likes the graphic novels, and I like TV shows, so we had something we could talk about. And it's thanks to him that I've started using this new microphone. Ouch. That wasn't as cheap as we thought it was, Josh. But hopefully the sound quality is more improved. Now I've got to work on a new camera, but I think I'm going to have to save up a bit more for that now that the microphone's wiped me out for the month or two. So, yeah, we had loads of food. Josh had a milk chocolate shake, and Kirsten had some sort of alcoholic something or other. I can't remember what it was called now. Daiquiri or something. Maybe a strawberry daiquiri, something like that. And I had lemonade because I was driving. So we just sat and we talked and we talked and we talked. And before I knew it, it was time to go home because I got work in the morning. So I said my goodbyes and I left. It took me ages to get home. But I got home, and hopefully she got home from her trip because she had to work on Friday. So that was the highlight of my week, really. It was really, really nice. Other than to see some pictures that my other daughter sent me. Her mother-in-law had bought her a pram, buggy, carry-cot combination thing. And she's been trying that out. And she kept on asking me questions like, how do I do this? What shall I do with that? So it's been very much a girls' week, really. So that's been really, really nice. I'm sat here, it's Saturday evening. The old man is asleep in the room across the corridor. Tea's in the slow cooker, so I've got this lovely smell of beef and beard wafting across the corridor. It smells really lovely. But it's going to be a couple of hours yet before it's ready. So I'll just have to wait, I suppose. Sorry, I should drink it this way around, shouldn't I? Sheepy mug. I do like him. I don't know where we got him from. I really don't, but I do like him. I've got hot blackcurrant today. So the rest of my week, really, I've been trying desperately to stay off the internet so that I didn't spend money. I've been maintaining the website for the craft and food fair that I attend to once a month. It's usually from March to December, and that's coming up not next weekend but the weekend after. So I've got to get cracking on some of my stock. I've got some yarn in here that needs to go in. I need to label some things up. And looking at the stash of stuff there, I think I need to start dyeing again. I want to do something that I can give away as an exclusive on the podcast, so I'm going to dye something like that, but I'm not sure what colours. I was wondering about these colours. I don't know if you can see that very well, but they're blues and purple. Well, they're more purples actually, from lilac and pink all the way through to really dark purples. Now this isn't a jumper, it's actually a little shawlette. If I stand up a bit, it just goes to there. I made this partly because I get cold in the evenings and it's quite nice just to have something around your shoulders, but it's also quite useful for when you're knitting, because I love shawls, but I find that I don't quite wrap them round right and they fall off, and so I'm forever going and with them. I don't know if you know what I mean. I'm sorry about the sound effects there, but that's the only way I can explain it. So I thought if I had some sort of little cowl shawlette, that would do the trick. And this is just right because it just comes down to there. That's my elbow. So I find it's just right, and although I don't think I've got it on right at the moment, it just whizzes round. No, it's still not right. But anyway, you can wear it pretty much any way round you want because that's the way it is. It started out life, the basis of it, I got the inspiration from Sarah's Texture Crafts. Sarah Millis does some really, really lovely patterns that she's designed. So I started off with the basis of one of those, but then hers just has an ordinary neck, and I wanted something that would go up round, that especially on really cold nights I could put up like this. Because I don't know about you, but my nose gets cold. So to be able to do that every so often and just warm it up again and then turn it down again. After all, I'm sat on my own, nobody's going to see, right? So that's what I've been doing. I'm supposed to be getting ready for next weekend. I'm so excited. It's Jolie's Kitchen Crafts, except she's not called Jolie's Kitchen Crafts anymore. It's Jolie's Creations, and she's hosting a weekend retreat in Manchester, which is only about just under an hour away from here if I'm driving, and just over an hour by train. So I decided that I would let the train take the strain, as they used to say on the TV adverts. I thought it'd be a nice treat just to go on the train, then I could sit and knit. Get the socks out again. And then after that I could just, because the train station is literally 10 minutes walk, if that, from the hotel. So I can do that, book in, stay there, go out for a meal in the evening, spend time with other people. There's a couple of craft workshops on that we had to book in advance, and I've booked designing type workshops. I can't remember the exact titles of them for the minute, but I want to try and sort of push my designing on a little bit more, so I've booked up to go on those. The only thing that's worrying me really is the fact that Phil will have just had his heart surgery, and although I always think of anything on the heart as major, but apparently it's not. It's fairly minor. They go up through the groin and into the heart, burn away a little bit of the heart and try and get the rhythm back to normal again, and apparently that should be a permanent fix. So he's having that done on Thursday, so Friday he should be home again, and then Saturday, Sunday, I don't go till Saturday morning, and I'm back Sunday night, so he should be okay on his own, and Matthew will be home in the evening anyway. It makes me cross because I booked it thinking it would be well away from the operation, but of course he's had it cancelled twice now, so that's why we've ended up where we are. Sorry, I've got a really itchy sore throat today. Oh, that feels better. Yeah, I've spent some time, especially today and last night, because on a Friday night my husband has all his friends round, and they all sit and play Hobbits and Middle Earth and things, and so I usually sit watching podcasts with my earphones in, and then that way I don't have to take any notice of them. I tell you, grown men, honestly, and a woman. Yeah, never mind. Each to their own. I suppose I've got my yarn. So I've been watching some podcasts. Of course, my standard... Sorry, I washed my hair and it's really itchy now. And it's because it's getting a bit longer. It's just... I don't know. I've never had it this long for a long, long time. And it's just driving me mental. Driving me nuts. And I'm not sure whether to just go and get it cut or to persevere a bit longer. I can hear you shouting at the screen, but I can't hear what you're saying. So that's that. So I started watching a new podcast last night called Sticks and Twine, which seems to be a very upcoming podcast. The man that does it hasn't been knitting all that long, less than a year, but he's quite fearless. He's already on his first jumper. He seems to be very generous with his giveaways. He was from Toronto, Canada, that he was coming, and apparently it was absolutely freezing. He said, oh, it was -20, and I thought, oh yeah, that must be Celsius. No, that was Fahrenheit. So it really, really is cold in Canada at the moment. Apparently they've got a really bad cold snap. And he said he could hear this heating kicking on and off. It's amazing the little things that I remember. So that was an interesting one to watch. I don't know if I'm going to watch it all the time, because it was, for me, a long podcast. I don't really like doing anything over an hour, as you can probably tell from the length of mine. Another one I haven't caught up with in a while, and I must do, is Kristen's from Wool and Vine. She's got a podcast that she calls Yarngasm. I did watch that a lot just before she moved, and I haven't really come back since she's moved house. I need to. I mean, I've seen one, I think, since she's moved, but I need to catch back up with her again, because I like her dyeing. I haven't watched Jinx's podcast recently. That's the Yarn Dyer's Diary, I think. So that one I need to watch again, because I do like Jinx yarns. I watched Effo and Di. Oh, I felt for Ellie. I really did. Poor Ellie, who's half of the team for Effo and Di, the other half is Dave, has had an absolute disaster. She's moved from one house to another, and the other one was really quite, not mouldy, but damp and not very nice, she didn't think. So she decided, because she's in the new house, she would wash her yarn, and she lost most of it. And that's all her scraps and her memories that she was going to use to make a blanket, or 3. So yesterday evening I started rooting through all my bits and pieces and I didn't find this one actually last night, but things like this is, the colour's not doing it any favours at all. It's really deep. No, it's not doing us any favours. It's really deep pink. Maybe you can see it better on there. No, not really. It is bright and it's pink, but I didn't send that one. I did send her about 6 or 7 mini skeins for a blanket, but they're all the sort of colours I like, which are pinks and purples. But my pinky purple's not the sort of colours that she likes, I don't think so much. There's a green sparkle duck in there, Ellie. And it set me thinking, would you like to do a swap? Are you interested in doing either a double knitting swap or a sock yarn swap? Do you collect minis? Are you making any blankets at the moment? You may remember that I did my blanket, but I only gave up after 20 squares. I'm thinking about doing another one because I have still got some squares left over, and as you saw, I've just got some more I've found. In fact, I've got a whole wicker basket full of them, but mine are mainly double knitting and the occasional bit of sock yarn. I can't make up my mind what I'm going to do yet, but if you're interested, let me know on the thread. That's on the Ravelry group Knatters Knits, and we can think about doing that. I don't know that there's much else to tell you. I feel that this is a really short podcast this week. Sorry, really itchy scratchy. I don't know what it is about washing my hair, but it's probably getting old. That's probably what it is. So I've got to stop saying so. That was one of the things that I have in common with the Sticks and Twine podcast. He says so a lot, and I've noticed that I do as well. I'll say so then. And I think I've got to try and lose that habit. I'm sitting here with so many lights on, it's really, really warm. My hair's still damp, as you can probably see. I've got so much yarn in here. No, that's a proper use if it's the word so. That's ooh, that's a skein of lace weight. I don't do lace weight. British wool, naturally hand dyed in Yorkshire, magenta. It's a bit darker than that. That's more like it. I think I should try a shawl. Or should I just finish some of the up? See what I mean? I'm like those squirrel. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I need my head red. I really do. I've got so many things to distract me in here. I've got to stop it. I really have got to stop it. So what are you up to this week? Have you got anything special on? You know that I've got my husband's op, and I've also got the retreat. I think that's probably enough to be going on. Well, with working full time as well, of course. Just a minor detail that I keep forgetting to mention. So perhaps the title of this should be "For So Substitute What am I like? I think that's it. I'm going to try and get something finished. Can I just show you for one last time, because I know I haven't got any finished objects, but grandbaby's jumper. So proud of it. Grandbaby's jumper. Yay! Oh, I'm really chuffed with myself for doing that. Yeah. Right, I think that's about it. You've had enough of me wittering. If there's anything that you would like me to do, I know that I'm going to come back with stuff from the retreat to show you, so there will be stash enhancement. I may be podcasting a bit late because of coming back from Manchester on the train on Sunday night next week, but just watch out at the end for the draw results. I'm not going to do the draw live on air. I'm going to go and do it in a minute when I've got Ravelry thread up, and we'll see who wins this ball of Regia. If I draw your name out of the hat, then please contact me by private message on Ravelry and I'll get it in the post to you. I hope you have a lovely week. Thank you ever so much for taking the time again to watch me, and I shall see you very, very soon. Take care now. Bye. Okay, so I couldn't resist. I've done the draw, and the winner of this ball of yarn is Karen, also known as Tiny Tortoise Knits. Congratulations, Karen. Send me a PM. I know I should have your address somewhere, but I haven't, I don't think. So please PM me with your address and I'll get this into the post for you. Thanks very much indeed. Take care now. Bye. And congratulations.